The sofa
Sofa shop is the only stuff for the sofa you need. The sofa that you need. Sofa shop, yeah, come and drop in. You will find a bargain at the sofa shop. They have a sofa designed for you. Come choose your fabric, match your curtains too. The sofa shop ain't got a cost what you think it will.
Do a thing until you see the sofa shop.
The sofa shop.
There we go, another sofa shop cover to start the show. That one was from Ben in Lancashire.
Incredible. Absolutely fantastic.
You strike me as someone who would have liked a barbershop quartet back in the day.
Back in the 50s? Is that what you're saying?
There's just something about you that I think says barbershop quartet. I mean, I know you like cool music, but there's also another side of your personality that says to me, barbershop.
Well, my dad was a barber, so maybe that's it. But yeah, no.
Maybe that's it.
I do like those sort of pre-war era movies, that sort of golden years of Hollywood sort of movies. I like that white Christmassy sort of stuff that's got a bit of that thing going on.
Do you think if you and I were from another era, but we were still friends, we would have been in a barbershop quartet?
I think we would have been more of a great duo.
Yeah.
You know, like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Abbott and Costello. The Two Stooges.
Just singing it. We would have been like dancing, you know, like that sort of throwing top hats and walking sticks to each other, you know, those sort of hat and stick routine.
I find it hard to find hats that fit my head. I don't think I would have been good in the top hat era.
No. I'm no good with hats either. I've got one amazing hat that fit perfectly that cost too much money, but I bought because it's the only hat that's ever looked all right on my head. That's it. Yeah, even caps look weird on my head. They look all strange.
I have got a little bit of sofa shop cover news, just quietly, by the way.
Yeah.
And that is I've started a new YouTube channel dedicated to just all the sofa shop covers we're being sent, if you want to listen to them like in isolation or in a row and things like that.
Brilliant.
So I will include a link to that in the show notes and the links and all that sort of thing if you want to check it out.
Yep. By popular demand. People have been asking for this. Good work.
Yes. So I've got a few little ideas of things to do with that. So anyway, go and have a look if you want to hear some of the ones that have been broadcast so far. There are many more still to come, by the way, that we haven't played to you yet. So they will be coming in due course.
Fantastic.
Now, Tim, I've got a few bits of follow-up. I'm starting off with the topic of music. I've had a message and a delivery from someone called Theo. Theo says, "Hey lads, and greetings from Sweden. Let me start out by saying that I absolutely love the podcast. Keep up the excellent work. There have been a lot of excellent renditions of the sofa shop theme. I may make one myself if I find the time. But I felt like a proper recording of Tim's version of the riff from Money for Nothing was sorely missing from the pantheon of music contributions." Little side note here, if you have never heard Tim's riff of Money for Nothing, it sounds a bit like this. Now, continuing with Theo's message, therefore I felt compelled to make one. It's quite quick and dirty, as rock and roll should be, but don't be deceived. To play it, I had to unlearn playing the guitar, and specifically unlearn the timings of the original riff to be able to play Tim's syncopated masterpiece. I've recorded power metal solos, jazz accompaniments, and classical guitar suites, but nothing has come close to the frustration of trying to learn and adapt Tim's version of Money for Nothing. One day, I'll hope to get to Tim's level, but until then, thanks for the excellent banter and episodes. All the best, Theo. Now, anyone who's heard the original Money for Nothing song will know it has a very, very long extended intro before this guitar solo suddenly hits you. It sort of starts with some slow singing and then some drum and then suddenly bang. And that's what Theo's done. So Theo has put in a very, very long intro, which you can probably hear playing at the moment, until we get to the business end. But Tim has not heard it yet. Tim, do you want to have a listen for the first time?
Oh, that's great. That is impressive. That is really impressive. My goodness me.
Note for note.
I think that's what do you think, man? Is that an improvement? Do you think that's a more intellectual sort of version?
I mean, it's a bit more polished. I kind of liked the more unplugged acoustic style, you know. I liked the more raw version that you did.
Right, yep,
It felt more from the heart. I think Theo's lacks the heart that yours had.
It was certainly more heart than head.
You know, I think yours came from somewhere deep within, whereas Theo's just kind of, you know, just methodically following your tabs.
I'd like to see him, you know, put his own version into it, you know, adapt it into something like Mark Knopfler did. Mark Knopfler took what I did and just really crafted something else.
He did. He made something of it. He took your solo and made it his own.
I think he has. I think that's sort of Mark Knopfler's song now. He's really taken that and done amazing things with it. I think from now on, when people hear the song, they're going to think of Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits, not me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, I think we're gradually clawing it back.
That would be the ultimate closing of the circle, is if we could get Mark Knopfler to play the Sofa Shop theme. That would bring all of our worlds together.
I think my head would explode if that happened.
That's right. He would return the tribute.
So, just another little thing I wanted to make mention of, and that was a tweet that I know you and I both liked from Sean. Sean, who said that he and his son are huge fans of the podcast, and they made a pilgrimage to Tim and Brady Cave.
Yes.
Which is on the bluff, or the bump as we call it, at Victor Harbour. And not only did they go there, but they celebrated by eating a couple of pieces of KFC from Victor Harbour KFC in the cave.
Wow.
Which he rated a 7 out of 10.
Nice. Yep.
But the best thing was they found a sign that you and I missed on the track there. And it says, like, it's the City of Victor Harbour Council, Rosetta, and it says Rosetta Head Reserve, and then it says caution, steep, unmade track. It says unmade track.
How did we miss that?
On the track to Tim and Brady Cave is called the Unmade Track. Well, it's not called the Unmade Track. It's an unmade track. But still, couldn't believe it.
Yeah. How did we not see that? Yeah, that's great.
No, that would have been so exciting. So thanks for the sign. We'll include pictures in the show notes and the video.
I wonder if any others have visited the bump to Tim and Brady Cave. Do let us know if you do on Twitter or Reddit. Fantastic. And to get some KFC all the way up there as well.
Wouldn't the KFC be a bit cold by the time you got there?
You would think so, yeah. But still, that's great.
What are your thoughts on cold KFC?
I do love cold KFC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lukewarm KFC I'm not that big a fan of. You sort of want it, you know, hot and stuff, and then maybe the next day cold, you know. You don't sort of want it just getting cold on the night, later that night. Although, of course, you know, you're not going to say no to it. But I'm just saying, it's usually at the end of the night, it's like the question goes up, you know, to my beloved, you know, are we keeping this or not keeping this? And it's just a little moment of, oh, I really shouldn't. But I tell you, the next day you're like, woohoo, we did, kept it.
I can't believe you let pieces go by. Like you leave them uneaten at all.
Well, you always buy 2 buckets and put one away in the fridge. That's how you do. 10 minutes later, you're like regretting it, like, oh no, this is not good.
Why buy one when you can have 2 for twice the price?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Sean and Son. I hope you had a good time in the cave, and thank you for the pictures. We will link to your stuff. Shall we start the episode?
Yes.
Proper, with ideas. Who's going to go first?
I went first, I think, last time, so have you got something prepared?
I've got a little something. Yeah. Mine's going to involve a little bit of homework afterwards as well.
Oh, okay. Well, do tell.
Because I'm going to hit you with this idea, and then I'm going to propose we do it. So let me talk you through it.
Right.
My idea is called brand ambassadors, or I'm going to change the name to Unmade Ambassadors, and I'll explain why. I have a bit of a fascination with brand ambassadors, famous people that get paid to become a spokesperson for a prestigious brand, like Land Rover or Rolex and all those lovely, lovely brands that get George Clooney or someone who's appropriate to their brand to become their brand ambassador.
Yeah.
You must have a bit of a fascination with this too, Tim, being a lover of popular culture and having an interest in celebrity.
Oh, a little bit. I do know of the phenomena where they may not be willing to promote a brand around, say America, but they will go over to Japan or China or somewhere like that and happily promote over there. You know what I mean? It's like,
Santori times. Yeah.
Yeah, sell your soul on a different continent. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Why? What luxurious brands have you got lined up for us?
The idea of this podcast will be that if it was made, each week your host or hosts become a brand ambassador for a certain brand for a week, and just and live their life for that week as if they were a representative of that brand trying to promote it. And then at the end of the week, they'd probably report back on what they did and what happened and some of their adventures and things like that. So I imagine if you and I made this, each week we would choose a couple of brands that each of us would be an ambassador for, and then we would just see what ideas and things we come up with over the course of that week. But of course, the fun would be not choosing Rolex or Omega or, really prestigious brands, but things that are a bit different.
Yeah.
What I'm actually going to propose is for the next week, or until we next record, you and I are each going to be a brand ambassador for a brand of my choosing, and I expect to see the odd tweet, Instagram post, maybe just little things in your life you do that promote this brand and endorse this brand, just to see how you do it.
Okay. And do you have brands in mind? I like this idea, by the way.
For some reason, I have a brand in mind for you that I want you to be the ambassador for a week, and I can't get this one out of my head, so I've already chosen yours.
Right.
And I've chosen mine as well. Now, before we do it, obviously these brands are not paying us to do this. We're not actually advertising them. That's why it's called Unmade Ambassadors, because we're not brand ambassadors. We haven't been made ambassadors. We've made ourselves that. So we're actually unmade ambassadors. So you don't have to put that little ad or paid promotion hashtag next to all your posts, because you're not being paid.
No.
So I think the hashtag you have to put next to your post is hashtag Unmade Ambassador.
Right.
So anytime I catch you promoting this thing, dropping in a little reference to it, I want to see hashtag Unmade Ambassador. So we're absolutely transparent about what's going on here. Okay. All right. That's a pretty good hashtag, actually. Unmade. But I think people may get that even if they're not familiar with the Unmade podcast.
Exactly.
Well, come on. I'm waiting. What's the product? What are you about to throw me into?
For the next week or so, until we next record, I want you to be an unmade ambassador for burger rings.
Burger rings?
Yep.
Why have you chosen burger rings of all things?
Just because because it's just what came to my head. Sometimes something comes into your head and it won't go away.
Why couldn't you have chosen Twisties? I prefer Twisties.
It's burger rings. So, for those who don't know, burger rings is like a sort of a corn ricey based snack with a kind of burgery flavour. They're small rings. What is the size of a burger ring?
Well,
bigger than a wedding ring, but smaller than an onion ring.
It's about the size. If you point your pointer finger to the end of your thumb, that's about the size of a burger ring.
I think a burger ring is a bit smaller than that.
Well, so the inside then, it would fit neatly inside your finger if you did that.
It would fit, yeah. You can probably get your little finger through the hole in the centre of a burger ring because they're like a little donut.
Yeah, that's true. They are smaller, aren't they?
I just think, for some reason, for the last couple of days, the word burger ring has just seemed nonsensical to me. So anyway, I want to see you do a little bit of promotion, drop in a little bit of love for the burger rings. Maybe maybe at some meeting at church this week, you could put a big bowl of burger rings in the middle of the table. Increase the love. You are now an unmade ambassador for burger rings.
Okay, I like this. I'm in. But I think I have a theory as to why burger ring is such a strange word, strange term, strange name. because I think it encapsulates what men and women long for in life the most. It's like...
You idiot.
Women daydream about a ring, and men daydream about a burger. That's basically as far as... That's just as deep as it goes for men.
Bearing in mind you are already an Unmade ambassador, so don't be too honest. But what's your relationship been like with burger rings over the years?
Look, burger rings have got me through some of the toughest times that I've ever been through. How am I doing? Is that right? Is that good brand ambassador?
Do you eat burger rings? Do you like them?
No.
What?
No. I honestly, if I went to a machine to buy a pack of chips, I would never buy burger rings. I do like them. You give me, say, here, I'll go, oh, yummy, and I'll eat them, but I would never choose them.
Well, that's all about to change this week.
That is. All right. So now what, having stuck me in it, what blessed awesome thing have you chosen for yourself?
Rolex? No.
Rolex. I was about to say Rolex.
No. This week, Tim, because I bought one yesterday, so I have one still. I have a brand new one in front of me, so I thought, how convenient. I'm going to be the brand ambassador for the Oral-B Pulsar Pro Expert toothbrush.
How often are you going to be able to talk about this outside the house?
Twice a day. So I am the Unmade ambassador for the Oral-B Pulsar Pro Expert toothbrush. Toothbrushes, man. Have you ever bought a toothbrush that hasn't got some kind of professional, addendum to it? Like, do they make toothbrushes that aren't somehow, got some hyperbole attached to them?
Yeah, I don't know. They're a bit like men's razors, aren't they? They're forever adding batteries and onboard computers and all sorts of stuff to them.
This one's got a battery.
Oh, what? So it's one of those electric ones, does it? Spins around?
It's not like a fancy proper electric one, but it's got a little battery in the handle that makes it pulse a little bit too.
Just so it feels like it's cleaning more. Yeah. I was once given a wooden toothbrush. I've owned a wooden toothbrush.
Yes, I've had a bamboo one,
which you think is going to last forever, but it doesn't.
No, mine broke. I had one break in my mouth that was made of wood.
Oh right. Oh okay. I've got the easier challenge here, I think.
Do you think?
Looking forward to mine. Yours is going to be harder to weave into your normal selfies and glamour shots and,
My glamour shots?
Your glamour shots, your normal.
Tim, I just send those to you.
All right, okay. Are we allowed to involve our pets in the influencing?
Oh, how can you not? Don't feed your dog too many burger rings, though, man.
Better not, no.
Although I bet dogs like burger rings. This is not me advocating giving dogs burger rings, people.
No.
Only feed your dog proper dog food.
I've heard all sorts of stories about feeding the dog, like mistakenly dropping things on the floor that the dog's not supposed to eat. I always thought dogs just sort of ate up whatever fell on the floor, but there's some things they really shouldn't eat. So,
yes, man.
I've had to be very careful.
How long have you had your dog for?
We've had our dog for 3 months. So,
okay.
Spindles, my old dog back in the day, he just ate anything. We just gave him everything. Little bits of, I don't know, like leftovers and stuff. He just seemed to eat. But then, apparently you're not supposed to. So we got very lucky with Spindles there. How would this work as a podcast? It's a cool idea.
Well, there would be the fun of being assigned your brand at the start of each week.
Yep.
Each episode would start with, 15, 20-minute reflection on how you promoted the thing you just had over the last week. You tell some stories.
Yep.
What you learned about promoting that product, what you learned about the product, your adventures. And then the second half of the episode would be, okay, what have I got for the next week? And you'd be introduced to a new brand. Very simple.
Do you have any experience at influencing? We kind of become influencers for things that we like anyway, don't we? Like, here I am with this cool thing that I love.
Tim, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the middle of every episode, we have this little section where we talk about products that sponsor the show.
Are they paying us? Is that...
Well, they're paying me.
I just thought, well, this seems to be a regular segment, like Spoon of the Week. Let's get into it. I looked it up. It looks awesome. It's really handy. So I'm like, cool. Let's talk about this again.
Hell, Brady likes hover. Speaking of which, shall we do it? Shall we
Yes.
do our ads?
Well, now I know what we're doing. All right. I could really get serious.
We've actually got Storyblocks and Hover today. Which do you want to do first?
Hover is a website where you go to buy domain names.
Indeed. Yeah, so if you've got a project that's on the go, or maybe a project you're thinking of doing, or, you know, there are all sorts of reasons you could need a domain name. You go to Hover, you register it, and you control it. You can attach it to other websites. You can divert it. You can do all sorts of things. It's got this super easy interface. For those of you who have never used a domain registry service, they are notorious for having rubbish interfaces, being confusing, and being hard to use. Hover is the exact opposite. It is absolutely brilliant. Now, Hover have the whole suite of all the suffixes you can put on the end, like, you know, your .com and your .net and your .ninja, all the classics. But they also wanted me to make special mention of two that they're promoting at the moment, which is .live and .design. So if you're, for example, if you're a designer of some sort and you want to make a website to showcase your work, why not get timhine.design? Don't get timhine.design unless your name also is Tim Hine, but to get your name .design, or the name of your company. .live is also, you know, I mean, you don't need me to tell you what you could use .live for if you're into doing things that involve, well, live events, or if you're someone who likes being alive, I don't know.
Like the band Live. They could have live.live. Like if Live were playing a live show, they could have live.live.
.live, .design are just two of the many, many domain suffixes you can register at Hover. I have many, many domains registered with Hover, many of which are in use, some that I'm saving for a rainy day. If you want to check them out, go to hover.com/unmade. Using /unmade or the promo code unmade when you check out is going to get you 10% off your first purchase with Hover, and Hover prices are already excellent. So hover.com/unmade, 10% off. Go and check them out, people.
You know how graphic design companies often have really sort of trendy one-word names, you know, like tomato and things like that are... Cool. Like if you had a design studio, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing graphic design of different kinds and concept designs and things.
Yeah.
What would your cool one-word name of your design studio be?
I can't get tomato out of my head now. That just seems like the perfect name for a design company.
That is a design company that I know of. They do album covers for bands, or a couple of bands I know of, but.
I'm trying to think of something like, you know, something to do with me, like Moon. Although a trendier word would be Luna, but there's already a million companies called Luna because that's such an obviously cool name.
Yeah, yeah. If tomato's already taken, maybe go with Apple. Oh no, hang on, that's taken too.
All right, I'm gonna register apple.com and just sit on that one for a while. Potato is an obvious one, but there's already a company I see in the UK called Potato. That's a production company.
I think avocado sounds like a design studio.
Everything's taken. Every food or fruit's taken. What about horseradish?
I don't think that's taken.
Spoon of the week, right? I know you get excited when I a cappella sing a Spoon of the Week jingle.
Yes, yes.
But I'm gonna disappoint you because Matt took my a cappella version of Spoon of the Week from last episode and has turned it into a proper introductory jingle sort of thing. If you have a little listen now. It's time for Spoon of the Week.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Matt.
That's brilliant. I'm so thrilled that he hasn't lost your voice from it. You know, I was worried that we were going to get some sort of, you know, totally cleaned up replacement, but no, that's beautiful. That is fantastic.
Well, how could you clean up that?
Well, by replacing your voice with someone else's voice. that have done like a 95% improvement to it. Don't worry about that.
There we go. Spoon of the week.
I reckon that might be my my new phone ringtone.
Just me singing Spoon of the Week. I love it. Spoon of the Week. You haven't picked one yet.
I did. I picked it out at work and I've brought it home.
Little tour of Tim's house here.
Just...
Oh, is that real spoon noise?
Can you hear? Hang on. Oh, here they come.
Did you drop it?
Just on the table, just pulling it out. Yeah.
You can tell Tim really treats these things with love, people. They're in the biggest, messiest box you've ever seen. Smashing
This is
into
me.
each other.
Just opening the safe. I brought 3, but I've chosen this one.
What do we got, Tim?
Well, Brady, we've got a quite unique spoon this week. Because Spoon of the Week this week comes from...
You sound different all of a sudden, Tim. Has something changed with your headphones, or...?
No, I've lowered my voice to my normal spoon talking voice.
Right, okay.
I take Spoon of the Week very seriously.
You do. You can't be talking about spoons with a high-pitched voice.
No, I'll come back a little bit from the microphone and go up a few octaves. This spoon. I'll describe it to people. It's all silver, and when I say it comes from the Crystal Cathedral, when you think about a cathedral, you think about a building that's hundreds of years old. The Crystal Cathedral is a very modern building, and this silver spoon has come from a church cathedral that's like a very modern one, built in like the 70s in California.
Yeah,
and it had like a motivational television program, and so this sort of modern building kind of is near the head, it has the modern building looking a bit like an office block, really, at the top of a spoon, which is not what you expect on a commemorative spoon.
No.
And it sits on a sort of, what do you call that, like a round turntable that says crystal and then cathedral.
Oh, so like the little plinth on top of the spoon that the cathedral is on is circular, is it? I can't tell that from the photo.
Yes. It's the sort of thing you can see, if you can spin it around, it goes all the way around, which is a bit weird because when you look at the back of the spoon, of the actual cathedral, it's just blank. So they've sort of made part of the spoon 360 and then another part of it, the main part of it, only 180. And I think that might be a bit of a design fault. But anyway, you come down to the scoopy bit and you've got
the bowl.
A motivational message, which is God loves you and so do I.
The thing that's weird about that, Tim, is like it's a nice sentiment, God loves you and so do I. But because it's written on a spoon, it sounds like it's the spoon telling you it loves you.
Well, maybe it's the ice cream. You're scooping ice cream. It's like God loves you and so does ice cream. Like it's Milo.
I don't know. It's weird that it's on the spoon, but I guess the message is from the giver of the spoon.
Yes.
So you would give it to someone you love, and it's your way of saying God loves you, and so do I.
I guess so.
What? Just like I don't want to get too lost in the weeds, but just for my information, the Crystal Cathedral, like what branch of the church is this from?
It's a big megachurch in America, and I think, strictly speaking, it's from the Reform tradition, the Dutch Reform tradition, and if you can enroll in my church history class at Uniting College, if you'd like to know as to where they fit into the tree of the church. Running semester 2.
Tim's not giving away that information for free. You've either got to go to Tim's course or buy the spoon. Obviously these spoons come from your family's collection. Did your dad visit the Crystal Cathedral?
No, he didn't, but he used to watch their TV show. That's why we've got it. Dad had a heart attack, right, when I was very young.
Yeah.
And he was at a low ebb, and sitting in hospital, he turned on the TV and the television program. I know it's sort of a televangelist kind of thing, but this is not quite as hypey as that. But a guy was there preaching. Dad listened, and he was really inspired by it coming off his heart attack. And so he started to watch it like every Sunday morning, and we would watch it as well when I'd get up and have some breakfast, some Fruit Loops, and watch. It was called Hour of Power. And that was on Sunday mornings.
Fruit Loops? That was a chance for you to drop in a Burger Ring reference.
Oh, sorry.
Instead of Fruit Loops.
Why would I be having
morning, have our bag of burger rings?
Burger rings for breakfast. And pour burger rings into a bowl and milk on top of it. I don't know. What kind of a sick guy do you think I am?
Hour of Power. Hour of Power. I have heard of Hour of Power.
Yeah. Well, this was a very famous, in America, that is, and in church. People kind of knew about it who maybe didn't even know about churches. And it looks peculiar. They built this massive cathedral. It was all made of glass. In fact, it even featured in The Simpsons, in a Simpsons episode when Homer gets stuck on a blimp and he gets scraped along the roof of it while the guy's trying to preach. It's very funny.
Tim, whenever I think of these American churches, these mega churches that were popular in the 80s and stuff, that built these huge things, I always think of them as kind of a folly and the preacher ending up being disgraced for some reason. Did the Crystal Cathedral come through unscathed, or did it fall from grace somehow?
Well, the preacher, Robert Schuller, was a good man, and he lived to an old age and died. But then his family, it was a bit weird, who sort of took over the church. And, as far as we know, nothing improper happened. But they did happen to go bankrupt. So they actually sold the church to the Catholic Church, and now it's a Catholic cathedral.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pretty atypical Catholic cathedral.
It is, yeah. But when you think about it, this is down the road from Disneyland, this is California. So it's kind of, what kind of cathedral do you build, is it Orange County, that kind of area?
Have you been there?
No, I haven't, no. I have sort of mixed feelings about this kind of place, but it's not the sort of church I'd build. But, it sort of motivated my dad, and so I always sort of have a bit of a soft spot for it as well, because he was very grateful.
Yeah, great. Where'd you get the spoon?
Well, I think it might be one of those, you could buy sort of things out of a brochure or something like that. I think that's how he might have got it.
Right.
Or it could have been a friend that visited it, but I don't remember anyone that, in my memory, going there and bringing one back. I think they did tend to have a little bit of, send a donation and then, you get like a little trinket, this sort of thing. I don't think it was terribly exploitive or anything like that. I think this was generally a pretty good ministry, but they did have a lot of that sort of fundraising stuff because they had this massive cathedral. And
I'm not surprised they went bankrupt if they were giving away fancy spoons like that. It's gorgeous.
Anyway,
Crystal Cathedral.
Of all the beautiful cathedrals in the world I could have chosen, this is the one that jumped out of the top of the Tupperware container today. And I went, oh, yeah, okay, that's a bit of a curious one.
I have to have a look at it. I want to see what it actually looks like because the spoon's not doing it justice. I want to see what it looks like in real life. Hang on, I'm Googling it.
I think the Catholics have now renamed it Christ Cathedral, which is a better name, really.
The tower next to it looks sort of Lord of the Ringsy, but the main part just looks like a office building,
Yeah, except I think it's quite big and it's all glass.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's office floors.
Oh, inside's impressive. Inside it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
Well, look, we're getting them from all over. My parents' tastes were very varied. They come from the gold fields and they come from mega churches in California and from all types. And God does love you, man, and so do I. So there we go. The spoon does not lie.
Now, it's that time to decide who's going to get one of our Unmade podcast spoons, which I promise will be made one day. It's a longer process than I thought, but we're getting there. We're going to spin the wheel, randomly choose a Patreon supporter. Now, Tim, the algorithm has spoken, and when this name came up, I was like, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do here. But to be fair, I just have to be fair. Because the winner of the spoon this week is Joe from Canada. Colonel Joe. Unmade Colonel Joe.
Are you serious? Wow.
Your 2000th Twitter follower. Yep.
Gosh.
She just came up.
Wow.
She came up. She happens to be a Patreon supporter. And the numbers chose her. Purely random. So, Joe, you get a spoon.
Let me tell you, no matter what's happening around the world, Joe is having one heck of an awesome 2020. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep, there you go.
Oh, that's
Congratulations,
great.
Joe.
Congratulations, Joe.
Storyblocks is a online library that you sign up for, monthly subscription of stock footage, video, pictures, audio that you can then use in your own creations. So if you're a filmmaker, like a YouTuber, a podcaster or a website designer, or you're just doing your own things, you're making newsletters and things like that, and you just want all this cool stuff to put in it that you can use royalty-free, Storyblocks, awesome.
Absolutely.
What should we look up on Storyblocks today, Tim?
Burgerings. Are there burgerings on Storyblocks?
They won't have burgerings. What about I bet they have toothbrush. What have I got? I'm looking up videos. Oh, lots of videos of toothbrushes, people brushing their teeth, putting toothpaste on a toothbrush, water. The thing is, you might be thinking, oh, what do I need this for? I could just film this myself. But the stuff with the Storyblocks material is it's like really professionally filmed on like high-spec equipment, high definition, all the good stuff, 4K. But also a lot of the stuff is filmed in like exotic locations. Ooh, that's a confronting video of someone brushing their teeth. I'm not going to watch that one.
Do you enjoy brushing your teeth? Are you diligent? Do you get into it?
Yeah, I like it. I like that fresh feeling in my mouth afterwards.
Oh, the feeling's good. Everyone likes the feeling.
By the way, while we're talking, here is some audio of toothbrushing from the Storyblocks audio archive. Can I just say, the audio archive on Storyblocks is the unsung hero of Storyblocks.
Oh, right.
Because everyone talks about the flash video they've got, and everyone talks about all the great images they've got that you can use, like great photography. But I find the audio super useful in my videos and podcasts and things like that. So here's some toothbrushing audio. You've got to go to storyblocks.com/unmade. Storyblocks.com/unmade if you want to go and check them out. Because if you do that, then Storyblocks like look at all the statistics and the data to find out where people came from. And if you've come from Unmade, they'll think, yeah, we're going to sponsor more episodes. And if they sponsor more episodes, we make more episodes.
That's true.
And that's a threat. Tim.
Yes.
Have we got an idea from you?
You do, yeah. Again, I've got a bad title. I think it's a bad title, but I'll give you two and you can choose the title from it. I walked into a bookstore this week and I pulled a book down off the shelf and it was called...
Is this the title?
No. Well, no. I'm building up to it. Just hang on a second.
Okay.
The title of the book was On Going to Bed.
Yeah.
And this is a podcast all about going to bed, to sleep. So it could be titled On Going to Bed or it could be titled 40 Winks. But, you know, I like On Going to Bed. It has that sort of Proustian kind of feel to it.
Let me just check we haven't done this, because this feels very much like something we would have done.
Oh, really?
Maybe we haven't done it. There was an idea mentioned called Sleeping Companion in episode 22, but it doesn't really say what it was. Oh, keep going. You've been thinking about it. Let's hear what you've got to say.
I thought about calling it 40 Winks, but that's a bit of a cutesy kind of...
I mean, I think that's a better title myself, but anyway.
Oh, right, okay. All right. This is a podcast called 40 Winks. It's a podcast about going to bed. I'm getting very much into the mode of it. I've not mentioned it to you, I don't think, tonight, but I'm actually in bed. I'm recording this from my bed. I didn't necessarily plan it this way, but I've done something with my ankle. I did tell you about that bit, and it's hurting like mad, so I'm laying on the bed recording tonight. And it's marvellous. And I can't tell you that when you hop into bed, you have that feeling of, well, what the heck have I been doing all day? Why haven't I been here? This is absolutely fantastic. And people, it's the relief, the sheer relief of, oh yeah, no, this is great. Why was I sitting in front of the TV going, oh, maybe just something else? I guess I better go to bed. You come to bed and you go, well, this is awesome. This is what the day was all about. This is the climax. It's fantastic. I'm intrigued by the rituals that people go through in going to bed.
So this isn't one of those plethora of podcasts where they help you go to sleep by saying relaxing things to you, and it's not like a sleep aid. It's just a discussion of the whole culture of sleep.
Yeah. Don't you think it's weird that we sleep for like a third of our life? It's a heck of a long time. It's profoundly important. I was thinking about this when we were buying a mattress and thinking about, oh gosh, mattresses are expensive and how much do we want to spend on a mattress, and it gets into the thousands of dollars. And then I thought, think about all the thousands of dollars that the other 2/3 of life cost. Why wouldn't I spend a good amount of money on this third? You got to get this bit right, so you've refreshed for the other 2/3.
Yeah.
In the end, we managed to get a really good deal on a much cheaper mattress, which was awesome.
I found a nice one at the dump.
I pushed that logic away and got a nice mattress. I know you're a big fan of sleep and of going to bed. I know you like this.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through? Do you have a particular ritual about how you go to bed?
Nah, these days I very often will fall asleep to a podcast. I fall asleep pretty quickly usually, so I'll usually fall asleep about 10 or 15 minutes into the podcast, which will then just play through to the end.
Yeah.
I don't really remember at what point I fell asleep.
What about the practices before then? Do you come and pull back the doona and then get your jammies out from under your pillow and then, put the teddy down the end of the bed and and then go brush your teeth, make a Milo, hot chocolate?
I just put on my pajamas and brush my teeth, get into bed, lie on my side, fall asleep.
There you go.
I struggle to fire up about this idea because I think sleep, podcasts about sleep, articles about sleep, the whole people's obsession with sleep. I don't know, maybe I'm just in a grumpy mood today, but I'm just sick of it. I'm totally on board with that, and I think you're on a winning idea for a commercially successful podcast. I'm just a bit sleeped out.
Just to be clear, this is not necessarily a podcast about sleep. It's not about those sorts of things anyway. It's about going to bed.
Oh, okay. Tell me about your ritual going to bed.
Oh no, it's very unremarkable like yours. I just sort of come and hop into bed and go to sleep. That's an episode. Bam, in the bag.
That sounds like you and I are the two worst possible hosts.
Episode 2. Oh yeah, no, I just hop into bed and go to sleep. Awesome. Thanks for coming. Next. What do you wet out when you wake up? Do you lay there for ages, like dreaming about the day? Or do you go through some stretching exercises? Or do you just sort of wake up and get out of bed?
No, I just pick up my phone, quickly look at my phone for 40 to 60 minutes.
It's amazing how often I get a text from you when you're just in the morning and you're still in bed. And then...
Oh, yeah. Well, the first thing I do in the morning is wake up and read the 3 texts you sent while I was asleep.
Yeah, check this out. Cool is this? They're all unrelated, but I expect you to laugh out loud at every one of them.
Tim's stream of consciousness through the day. Or it's a photo of a character who was in the West Wing that you've just spotted in a different TV show or movie.
Yeah.
Oh, look where Toby Ziegler just turned up.
I love finding people in other TV shows. It's like, there's the guy from so-and-so.
Yep.
He was a judge in Punky Brewster.
Quick, must take a photo of the screen and send it to Brady.
I don't know what I imagine your reaction is going to be. Like, sit straight up in bed. Oh, my goodness. It is.
That's the podcast you should do. Just who you saw that week in a TV show or movie that was in a different TV show or movie once. It's almost like you're shocked that these people are in more than one thing.
Do you read in bed?
Well, I used to. I've really stopped reading in the last sort of year or so. I want to get back into it. I'm really struggling. Any tips for getting back into reading? Stop listening to podcasts, I guess.
Oh, it's a bit like your tips for sleeping. You just like buy a book and, open the first page and read it.
Oh, yeah.
People go, I can't read. Just read it. Just read it, man.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad that I haven't got into your going to bed idea, but I'm just not into it. Like I said, I'm just sleeped out. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think you're back in a slump, so don't take it the wrong way. But
Don't even say the S word, man.
It's like recession. Yeah.
Don't say it in the building.
Maybe you just pulled it on the wrong day for me.
Man, are you a bit tired? Have you not had enough sleep lately?
Maybe I am a bit tired. It's not till after midday that I really feel awake, so...
That's because you don't drink coffee. You've got to get some coffee into your life. That's so weird that you don't drink coffee at all. I don't know how you even live.
You think it's like a character flaw that I haven't got this addiction to caffeine?
Well, we're not supposed to function without coffee. Like it's
without this artificial stimulant that we take from outside our body.
Yes. Yeah. God designed us for coffee. He's given us coffee. We need coffee. We have coffee. Coffee is available. It's wonderful. You need coffee or a cup of tea at least in the morning. Have a cup of tea and then have a coffee.
I have a cup of tea, but we have decaffeinated tea in our house. My wife doesn't drink caffeine, so everything's decaffeinated anyway.
Man, you have to put your foot down there.
I think we've both been a bit flatter this episode, you know. I mean, I think lying in bed is not a good idea for doing a podcast, and you shouldn't do it again.
I'm here for medical reasons, by the way, and I'm lying
fair enough.
I'm sitting on my bed. I'm not I'm not in bed, like I'm not all snuggled up and stuff.
What about a podcast called The Flat Podcast, where you only ever record when you're feeling a bit flat?
It's just like, oh, everyone, yeah. All right.
Don't know. Not really in the mood for recording today.
Not in the mood. That's what you could call it. Not in the mood.
Not in the mood.
Hang on.
Fancy it.
I'll see if I can stand up for the last couple of minutes and see. Here we go. If that makes a difference.
Go out on a high.
Oh.
How's that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Ideas are coming to me now.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, maybe it's not caffeine you need, man. You just need to stand up. Have you tried standing up in the morning?
What about a standing up podcast where both you have to stand up the whole episode?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
That would make our episodes shorter.
It would. They say about that in the workplace. You always have stand-up meetings to make sure that you just finish. Otherwise, you sit down, everyone starts chit-chat, and you lose like an hour when it should be a 10-minute meeting. Just stand up.
You run a lot of meetings, obviously, in your job or your jobs. Do you have any tips for keeping meetings short?
Yep. When you're done, you say, we're done. All right. So...
You ready to rock and roll?
I always say, you guys ready to rock it? Jingle your keys at the end. All righty, here we go. I always say the purpose of the meeting at the beginning. So the purpose of the meeting, the purpose of this meeting is to decide what we're going to do. All right. Now, I think, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to make a decision. And so then you get into it. You give people time to talk and all that kind of stuff, and go, okay, I think we've made the decision. All right. Thanks, everyone. So you keep it on track, and people love it. People love a focused meeting. You walk away going, we achieved something there. And you can't get on to other stuff unless it's crucial. Go, all right, let's have a second meeting about that right now. The first meeting was a success. We're not going to let that success be hampered by the fact that we're moving on to talk about something else.
Okay.
So that's a second meeting. There we go.
Why don't you do that at the start of our podcasts?
Today... Here we go.
We're gonna have. I want 2 good ideas, a spoon, and a Storyblocks ad.